Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of Community Report. I am Dare Ido. As the effect of Nigeria's economy continues to bite really hard with food prices skyrocketing, the call for homegrown solutions, especially in the area of food production, has become rife. In the southeast, specifically in Imo State, Okobe, One Kindred, One Business initiative is gaining ground. The people are hoping to turn their economic situations around with the initiative. On this episode of the program, we caught up with many farmers in different communities across the state, and every farm is a different story.
On this episode, we are in another community in Imo State, and our next stop is this integrated farm. Pineapple is the major business.
Yeah, you're welcome to Okobe Pineapple Ventures Limited.
Thank you very much.
Here, is Umuhodi, Umuapo, okay. Hajebema local government area of Imo State. This is the premises of our farm. This area is the workers' quarters. You have the admin block there, and we have the processing unit here where we process oil palm. We have oil palm plantation here. We equally produce red oil, the one we call SPO. They are special palm oil. So you can see the one that is ongoing now. Because this is not actually the season.
Okay.
Yes.
But your primary focus is?
Our primary focus in this particular farm you have visited now is the pineapple section. Okay. We grow fresh pineapple fruits, and we also process into dry fruits. We just started that one presently. And actually why we engage in that is just to add value to what we are doing. Then for the oil palm, you can see we have just a scanty number of it here. We have about 6.5 hectares in what we call a Tioha, and then 5.2 in Umukene. All of them are all in Ohajibema local government. Just about 4 kilometers from here, you get to the farms. Here you've seen is the harvested fruits. We harvest them, we bring them here. Then after, because of the absence of the bunch stripper, the one that you use the bunch, you throw it inside the machine. We don't have it here. So what we have, we use manual to process it. So we slash it after slashing it, we use a manual process to remove all the necessary impurities and then gather them together and then take them to the mill.
So you process it?
Yeah, we process it red oil, yes.
Okay. So
I will make sure we process within 2-3 days. Just to produce a fresh, what we call SPO, special palm oil. That's the one that is cholesterol free.
The ideal time for planting a pineapple is 12 to 15 months before the peak flowering season under the natural conditions, which varies from December to March in different regions. Time of planting also varies from place to place depending upon time of the onset of the monsoon and the intensity of the precipitation. Like
I was showing you, this particular farm now is a different one, apart from the first one I showed you. It's through the teamwork of this cooperative, Okobe Cooperative, that we've achieved all these things. The owner of this one, it lives in Port Harcourt. So what he does is just to supply all the needs or whatever we need, and then come periodically to inspect his farm. Like you can see here, these ones are ready to fruit. You can see when you look around this farm now is about 20,000 suckers owned by a particular cooperative member. So what we have done here is that we have provided this particular person the technicality he needs, all the technical assistance. He has gained it from us, as been in the business for years. So, but for the funding, he is running the funding. So you can see teamwork, we can actually strike a balance. In the first instance, we don't even, our subscription for membership is just 1,000 as we decided. In some cases, you get it free of charge. They just decide to form a cooperative and all of them come together for a particular, a common purpose. So when they come to, like we come together here for growing pineapple, for money making. And you can see, look around. They don't have the market, and the person that has the market will provide the market, because we are in cooperative. So because we are together, working as a team, you see that what you don't have, another person has that particular contact. This person will get a contact for sales. This person goes for the technical know-how. This other person will have for either for the labor, he will get the contact for the labor. By the time we team up all these resources, we are gaining cohesion. And that's exactly what we are doing here.
There are now more activities at this farm, all thanks to Okobe. Okobe, a community-based initiative that encourages group-owned businesses. These groups include extended families, villages, communities, friends, alumni associations, or religious and social organizations.
We talk about group-owned businesses, right? So we are not necessarily saying you must be a cooperative. A cooperative model is just one way. It can also be a social enterprise. It can also be a limited liability company, or it can be a firm where you have a majority shareholder. So a family or a member of the kindred can own, say, 50%, 55%, and provide the leadership required at the point. And we work from the view that you don't lose anything. A candle does not lose anything by lighting another candle. So if you're abroad or you're thinking about how to help people in your community, it could be that you create a grant for them. So I know one or two people now who created a grant of, say, 10 million naira each for their kindred to say, well, here is the money, come up with good ideas. So there are different ways we can stimulate our people and even guide them in that. So if you're a successful business person in the urban area or abroad, with technology these days, you can easily be part of the business in your village or in your kindred and help them. And you don't lose anything because you're rather empowering them to be self-sufficient. And if they're self-sufficient, you will be able to enjoy your own wealth, especially when you visit home. But we also want to say, well, there are 4 criteria to be part of this Okobe movement. One is that it has to be group-owned. And group ownership here, like I said, doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a cooperative, as long as you are maybe from 5 upwards. Then the other thing is that it has to be employment oriented, because we want to address unemployment. So we have to create jobs. So we are looking at businesses that are able to absorb more people as opposed to those that will make money for a few. So remember, it's about inclusive economy. The third point is that it has to be profit oriented. This is not charity. This is not your usual informal arrangements. And that's why I also emphasize that they need to be registered. If they are registered, then it helps them also to be formal, it helps them to receive grants, it helps them to transact and scale. So registration is very key. And even if the government wants to help them, the government can only help people they know.
Excuse me, I think I should have one of these fruits. This is pineapple I'm talking about. You see, this one is a fully ripe one, ready for consumption. And it's called a fresh pineapple fruit. It's fresh in the sense you can look at it here. So that's exactly the one I'm referring to. And this is the smooth cayenne I talked about.
Like it. Still at this farm, they also have a lot of beehives.
Kitchen knife.
By the 17th century, people had already figured out the value of smoke in controlling bees. A hat, a veil, and a pair of gloves are provided at this farm, but a full beekeeping suit is recommended.
Yeah, I'm trying to light the smoker. This is called a smoker. It's a device that we use to control the bees. This is the canister, this is the bellow. So I'm preparing it, getting set to go and open the beehive. it has to be thick. The color will be darker than this before we proceed. It's still cold. It's still cold. It should be a bit warm and darker before we can proceed to control the bees. Okay, look at it, it's increasing. Okay, we can move.
First and foremost, a beekeeper should feel absolutely comfortable and at ease in whatever he or she chooses to wear. Beekeeping is an agroforestry practice which has a relatively low commercial application in the country. Almost all the states in Nigeria practice apiculture, but few farmers can be said to be commercially oriented. Romanus Lemchi is a calm, collected, and confident beekeeper.
Okay, bring the knife. Come and remove these leaves here, broad leaves here. Remove them. Because if you allow it, ants can easily climb into your hive and cause panic. Your bees can abscond. Remove it well. Remove it well. Be careful. Remove it clean. Clean the surroundings. This is one of the practice in beekeeping. Each time you come to the apiary to inspect or to harvest, you have to use this opportunity to clean your surroundings. Because if you allow it, ants can trail inside. And there's the tendency that your bees can abscond. You see what he's doing there? Cleaning the surroundings. Yeah, so it is an apicultural practice. So I'm smoking the hive. I'm trying to control the bees. I'm trying to break their communication. So these are the empty combs. We are not in the season now, so we can't see any honey now. So this is the off season. But by November, December, they will start depositing honey for harvest. We are just inspecting, checking the condition of the hive, whether they are doing well or not. But so far so good. The colony is populous enough. It's quite encouraging. They have enough population. So by August, they will start collecting nectar from plants, start depositing. By November, December, we shall start harvesting the honey. So I'm almost done with the inspection. So I have to put all the bars back and close the hive. To check again by November or December, as the case may be, for harvesting.
So is it that they are conditioned to be in their natural habitat?
Yes, that's their yes, but they have different characteristics. Some tend to follow you for a long distance. Some will follow you. After a while, they will still go back. They will still go back. All of them will still go back.
How were you able to do this without actually wearing?
I have over 2 decades of experience in doing and Beekeeping.
You've never been stung by.
No, I did some distance. It doesn't mean any long. I'm more or less immune, but a beginner should not dress the way I'm dressed, you know. A beginner should not dress the way I'm dressed. To be deadly, I can because of my immune status as regards to exposure to bee stings. Yeah, as regards to the long exposure of bee stings. As regards to long exposure of bee stings, I can take up to 200, 300 bee stings without any side effect. Yeah, I'm highly exposed to bee stings.
So what about someone who doesn't have that experience?
No, just only one can make you sick. Only one can make you sick. If you receive up to 10 or 20, that person can die. It is capable of causing cardiovascular problems.
Beekeeping is an agroforestry practice which has relatively low commercial application in the country. The Nigerian apiculture sector is valued at about 36.8 billion naira, according to the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Systems and Rural Development. As we move to a different community, we understand that there are different models adopted in different communities to encourage group ownership. The youth, the church, and families. But here at the University of Agriculture and Environmental Science, women are taking the front seat, driving the homegrown initiative to boost not only their own earnings, but also help the state economy.
I'm a cassava seed entrepreneur. We run a cooperative, Cassava Cooperative, and the name is Farmers Unit 6 Multipurpose Cooperative. All we do is cassava, cassava, cassava to make sure that there is food sufficiency in Imo State and Nigeria in general, even beyond, because we intend exporting. When we must have gotten enough for the country, we can now move away. So that is why we are no longer relenting in making sure that we place food in the table of all Nigerians. The uniqueness of this cooperative, Farmers Unit 6, is the cassava value chain we are producing. We said one thing is producing cassava. Another thing is getting the most important and the improved species of cassava that will give you what you want in the country and in your state. Farmers Unit 6 has embarked on getting improved cassava species from IITT Ebado and the National Research Crop Institute, Umudike, courtesy Okobe. We are women trying to make sure that we placed food in our homes, in our states, in our country. So for us to do that, we cannot go below or any substandard species, and we have to improve in getting the best species we can use. Such species like 419, TM 419, 50-50 fine face, game changer, Dixon, and so many of them. So that is why we are here. And it's not just working on cassava. If you work on cassava and leave it alone, your cassava will just be there looking at you. You need to adopt what we call maintenance. You have to follow the agronomic practices of cassava farming. And that is before you work, check your land selection, prepare your farm, check the kind of species you are bringing, check the herbicide you are using. As you can see here now, because we never did ridge, you cannot just plow, harrow and the plant. No. The agronomic system is, if you are not using ridge in your farm, you plow. After plowing, you harrow. After harrowing, allow your farm to stay at least 2 weeks, 1 week or 2 weeks, so that the lilies of the grasses or any weed in your farm will come up. There and then, do not plant yet. You apply the herbicide. Or you can plant, but don't let the up of your cassava come up. Bury everything. As you can see the head. We buried everything. After burying, a day or 2 days of planting the burying system, you can now apply your herbicide to make sure that that grass that cropped up within 2 weeks of harrowing will be died off. And as you can see them now dying off because we just did it.
We have a special interest, mainly for us to help out in the society, Nigeria and the Imo State, and even to our families, to produce, to make sure that there is food on the table, to make sure that there will be no hunger. As we are seeing it in Nigeria, now there is hunger. Everywhere, hungry. People are hungry. So we make sure that you produce in the masses, mostly this cassava seed. That's the most important thing we are specializing on, cultivating, so that we make it, we produce, and we go to make other things to produce, put the food on the table, and also make our value chain. Like she said, from this cassava seed, we can process it and get our cake. You can have it in a wedding. We can use it and produce cake, flour, chin-chin, and what have you. All the stuff in order to make food, put food on the table. There are many interests anyway, not necessarily being paid or whatever. We do a lot of things like training. For us to gain access to this production of cassava or whatever, we used to go for training, different seminars. Most of us are interested, whether paid or no paid. We know we learn a lot. For us to come back, train the trainees, even the members that are new, that are not there with us, we come back to teach them those things we learn at our level, training level, training ground. We come back home to impart the knowledge to others for us to progress. So we gain a lot of things apart from food processing or whatever, seminars and trainings and all whatnot.
The passion and the knowledge of these women is strong, and that continues to be their motivation as they plan to scale and attract more women.
This is, we apply them herbicide. This farm is term 419. That is what we planted here. And this term 419, because it is an improved species, the harvest, the yield is massive. The yield is massive. And you can start harvesting at the age of 8 months. You can start harvesting. But if you intend using the stem, we call it seed, using the seed to replant, as early as 6 months, you can start ratooning. You can start ratooning so that you can use it to plant other here. But whereby your farm is as ready as, depending on what you are planting on, you may be planting to use the stem, or you may be planting to use the tuber. You may equally be planting to use the two at the same time to give you the maximum gain. But if you are planting to use the stem at early as 3 months, you can start ratooning. If you ratoon within 2 months, before another 3 months, you start ratooning again. But if you are combining it for the two, depending on the measurement of your planting, determines what you are getting. If you plant 1 meter by 1 meter, it means probably you are looking for the tuber. Then if you plant 1 meter by 0.5, you are looking for the seed, the stem. Then what you put on ground, that is agriculture, is what is giving you. That is, yes, is what is giving you. So this one now, there is no magic at all. There is no magic. So another thing you can apply after the herbicide within the early of maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or even 3 weeks, depending on the one you are using, is fertilizer. Now we are not using inorganic. What we go in now is organic fertilizer.
Because there's always that concern as well.
Exactly. And that organic fertilizer we have now, as soon as this cassava you are seeing now gets up to 3 weeks, we will come in for the first impression and spread our first organic. After 10 days or 12 days, we come in again.
As these farmers continue to embrace homegrown solutions to food shortages, the synergy between businesses and communities is strategic and more can be achieved. More businesses can be created within each community and self-sufficiency can also be built at a larger scale.
That's our show for today, everyone. If you miss any part of it, you can watch it on our YouTube channel. You can also follow the conversation on our social media platforms displayed on the screen. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Dare Ido. We'll see you next time, and bye for now.